What's going on, bookworms? Today we're doing The Will of the Many by James Islington. This was a great book. Really enjoyed my time with this. Overall, I gave this a 4.25 out of 5. This is a great fantasy political thriller. I can see where all the hype is coming from. For me, it's not one of those books that's like the greatest book of all time, which I've been seeing, but it's definitely not mid-tier at all. And for me, this was really just kind of this fast-paced plot with a great setting, some thought-provoking settings, pieces, and political structures, and every side character really having some agency. So I think you should read this if you want a great fantasy political thriller that's in a much more academia setting. You know, this isn't academia book 100%, but it reads like a fantasy political thriller. And if that sounds intriguing, you're really going to enjoy this book. Academia setting, although it's been done tirelessly, this feels a lot more mature. It doesn't feel overly convenient in any way, and I definitely enjoyed my time. This is definitely one of my favorite academia books of all time. What I liked and didn't like, well, what I liked, plot and world building. Awesome stuff here. Cool structures in place that really were thought-provoking, like the different tier systems, also how the magic system works, where the person at the most really kind of like a pyramid scheme basically, and the way it's enforced through this kind of political ideology. It was all very much interesting. I think the series, right from the beginning, the book subverts expectations, but in an earned way. And you get that right from the beginning, where our protagonist looked like he could go into one place, and it was quite enjoyable to see that actually our protagonist, or our main character that we're following, wanted to stay neutral and not kind of get succumb to the good fight. What does that even mean, the good fight, and all of these kinds of things. It was nice to see our character try to remain neutral, and I wouldn't say self-interested, but kind of more not interested in these like moral righteousness things that can sway us to join a certain group. Is more out of self-preservation, interest, survival, right? And so that was really cool to read, and I think that subverted a lot of expectations, but in an earned and good way. And another thing here was that all characters had agency, and I was always guessing there's always another layer, another motivation, hidden motivation, overt motivations, hidden expectations, hidden motivation, all of these kinds of things, and it really gelled by the end of this book. Those felt really good to me, and also the ending was great. Heart pacing, pounding, didn't see the ending coming. Some characters you thought were bad were good, some characters that were doing good were bad, these kinds of things. And yeah, like all around good stuff. 4.25 out of 5. Some stuff I didn't like. Our protagonist here, like, don't go into this book expecting great character development. I would say go into this book, again, reading like a political thriller, that you're really reading this book for plot, not for characters. And I will say that a lot of these characters are good enough, especially our Viz's best friend, love him. But it's more about each character having its own agenda, and an agenda that feels right to the setting, the world building, the plot, the interest of the character, the interest of the family, so on and so forth. That all felt really good. But our protagonist specifically was a little bit too much Gary Stu for my flavor. Kind of like the Name of the Wind Gary Stu. He was sometimes just too good at everything, or sometimes it was nice that he could rely on others for solutions, but a lot of the times he was able to just figure something out, or figure out a thing that kind of felt impossible, and be like this prodigy. That Gary Stu-ness sometimes was like, you're reading and you're like, oh, here we go again. So that kind of held that book a little bit for me. And also some plot points felt a bit too convenient. One of them being the dog, if you know what I'm talking about. For me, the dog was way too convenient. There's some similar plot points that were just like Deus Ex Machina a little bit for me. Not something too overt, but just some nitpicks there that brought this down just a little bit. And then although all of the characters had agency, which was really enjoyable, not all of them were deep enough that you had lasting emotional impact. I'll say the driver of the emotional impact was definitely the plot. But I will say that there were some moments, especially for Viz, that were like, there were some emotional moments, but really the main driving factor of any emotional impact or depth was the plot, which can be hindersome to some. There was some cool little character arcs, and some of the side characters did have some plot points, but overall, don't go into this expecting a great character read. Go into this expecting a great political thriller, which I definitely did. 4.25 out of 5. Really enjoyed this. Some of my highest categories, just enjoyment. I give enjoyment 4.5 out of 5. I blasted through this. Great pacing. The dialogue was good enough, interesting enough. It wasn't, our character's arc wasn't just like being good or being bad. It was actually this more neutrality tone, which was awesome. And then we do have this kind of hidden artifact, catastrophe trope here that was really interesting to read. And just, I really enjoyed the world building a lot in this. It was about a little bit more hidden and layered, which really leveled up the enjoyment. And then plot and structure was my other 4.5 out of 5. Really well structured, excellently paced. All of our characters having some hidden agency, hidden motivation that felt justified, the different groups, and how they're all embedded in this magic system. It's one of the better magic systems I've ever read, and the better magic systems that felt really earned. And I will always say this, like magic systems that have a cost, like a justifiable cost, will always be something that I enjoy reading. Some things that are like more Harry Potter-ish, unless it's Harry Potter specifically, I'm not really going to enjoy that much. But any magic system that has a cost is really always going to be a lot more enjoyable for me. And there is that here. And the lowest score is by far characters. I just gave it 3.5 out of 5, and 3.5 is still good or very good. So again, not a lot of emotional depth, but I think each character played its part well. And I don't think there was a character I really disliked. It's just that either than our boy Viz's best friend, and Viz himself I did enjoy. I know some people didn't like him. I thought he was fine. I didn't have any problems. I didn't find he was annoying. It was just the Gary Stu-ness where it just felt like he was too good at everything. Emotional impact, 3.75 out of 5. The ending definitely hit me, and then those certain plot moments where you're kind of realizing or what's uncovering, whether it's what's happening at the academia, the very ending, or the trials and tribulations of certain characters. Those definitely hit. World building and thought provokingness, both 4 out of 5. Some really cool themes going on here, especially about meritocracy, also about the best way to organize ourselves, the politics in this book. All really good stuff. And the world building is subtle, but the way it combines everything, the cost of magic, and there being a justifiable reason of why society is organized around it, was awesome to read. So overall, I gave this 2.5 out of 5. Can't recommend this book enough. I do think that for some people it could be a little bit lacking if you have the wrong expectations, but I think with these kinds of, if you read this like a political fantasy thriller with more of a dark academia, with that kind of expectation, you're going to enjoy this a lot. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much.